So now we're going to be reading this book, which is called Farms by Scholastic. So using the information I gave you before and what we've talked about in the past, how can I tell if this is an information book or a storybook? One of the ways that you can tell from the front cover is very often, not always, but very often they have a photo instead of an illustration or a drawing or a painting. So very often they have a photo in non-fiction books. And this confirms it for us as well. This is a contents page, and using the contents page you can find out a bit more about what's in this book ahead. So you don't have to read all the pages if you were reading this book at home. I will be today, but if I look on page 18, what could I find? That's right, crops. How about if I was looking at page 20? That's right, tractors. The farm. Farms are large areas of land for growing plants or keeping animals. Crop farms. So crop farms are farm plants are called crops. Most crops are grown for food. And there's an example there. Sweet corn. Animal farms. Animals are kept on farms for food and for materials such as wool. Farms are very important because they produce most of the food we eat. I wonder if you can remember what kind of food might come from a cow. That's right, beef. And this one though is a dairy cow, so this is used for milk. Some cows are kept for meat, others are kept for their milk. Farms produce food, then farms are sent to the shops. We buy the food to eat. So you will very often we only see the food in the shops. We don't always get to see what happens before when we don't get to see the part where it's being grown or the animals in a farm. Farm birds. Well, we can tell these are all birds because it's got some of the bird features that we've looked at before. They've all got beaks and they've all got wings. Oops. Farm birds. Farm birds can often be seen in farmyards or in farm ponds. Turkeys make funny gobbling sounds. Chickens are the most popular farm birds. Ducks like to swim in farm ponds and streams. A mother chicken, called a hen, can lay eggs for your breakfast. A duck's foot is webbed, and you can see the shape there. It's a bit like a flipper. A duck's foot is webbed for paddling through the water. A hen has claws for running on the hard ground. Dairy farms. Some farms keep cows for their milk. These farms are called dairy farms. And farmers often live near their animals so they can look after them. As an example here, this one has a label of a farmhouse. In the milking parlour, where the cows have their milk, where the cows get the milk out, where the milk comes out, the cow is in the milk parlour just right next door. And then there's a barn and a silo for keeping food, no doubt, and other things. A cow must have a calf before it can make milk. Now we know that because we know that all mammals produce milk. Cows eat grass in the summer and hay in the winter. Cows are milked in a milking parlour. Cows are milked in the milking parlour often twice a day, and milk can be made into many different cheeses and yogurts. Milk is good for us because it keeps our bones strong. Farms get the milk through the cow's udder. There's a label here showing the udder here. And the milk is taken away every day to be processed so it is ready for us to drink. Woolly sheep. Sheep have woolly coats. We knit the wool to make clothes. In the spring, sheep give birth to lambs. They often have twins. One of you know what twins might mean? You might be able to tell from this picture. It means two babies, twins. Sheep eat grass. They like to stay close to one another when they graze the grass. A sheep's coat is called a fleece. Sheep live outside all year. Their woolly fleeces keep them warm. Sometimes farmers use sheepdogs to herd sheep together. In early summer, the sheep are brought in to be shaved and sheared, and the sheared fleece is turned into wool for our clothes. That's right, and many other things as well. And there's a label here for the sheepdog and another label for the wool. Pig farm. Pigs love to wallow in mud in the hot summer months, and they do this to keep cool. There's a label here for a piglet. Farmers feed the pigs pellets, which are made of a mix of foods to keep them healthy. Pigs live in big fields on farms, and they are kept for their meat. There's a mother pig here, and we can tell that a pig is also a mammal because it produces or makes milk for its babies. A mother pig can have as many as 16 piglets at one time. Some pigs are kept outside in big fields, and they sleep in little shelters called pigsties. I wonder if you can think of a farm you've been to where you've seen these little pigsties before. You may think all pigs are pink, but some are black or brown, and some have spots. Crops. Crops are plants that farmers grow in big fields. Most crops are grown for food. After the farmer has cut the crops, they are stored in large buildings before being sent to the market. Here are some common crops. Wheat grain. Seed from wheat plant are ground into flour, which is used to make bread. Soya beans. Soya beans can be crushed to make soya milk. Sunflower seeds. The seeds of sunflowers are used to make cooking oil. Sugar beet roots. Some sugar comes from the root of a sugar beet plant. Tractors. We read about information about that before, haven't we? Tractors drive slowly and pull machines that do all kinds of work around the farm. For thousands of years, animals were used to pull farm machinery. Horses did much of the heavy work that modern tractors do today. And there they are, the horses doing all the hard work in a picture of the past. We can tell it's a picture from the past as well because it's black and white. A plough digs up the earth and then seeds can be planted. A baler scoops up the cut grass and presses it into hay bales. And a trailer helps the farmer to carry loads around the farm. And there's a picture there of the tractor doing some of its work around the farm. These machines are used to farm potatoes. A plough. A plough digs trenches so that the seed potatoes can be used to grow potato plants. They fall deep into the soil. Seed drill. A seed drill is a machine that drops the seed potatoes into the ground. Harvester. There's a truck and a tractor with a harvester there. I think it goes up there and shoots out into the truck. When the potatoes are ready, a harvester digs them up and tips them into a truck. Sorter. The potatoes are sorted by hand to remove any bad ones, because of course we wouldn't want to eat any bad ones. This just shows you actually that a potato is a plant, because it shows you the bit that we usually eat is the root part underneath, which would be below the soil, but above it's got leaves, just like any other plant. It's got leaves and flowers. Harvesting. You might remember this from when we did the Harvest Festival a while back. When wheat needs to be cut, a combine harvester begins its work. Wheat grain, combine harvester. This is a grain spout which is shooting it into the wheat grain, and that looks like one of those. It looks like it's being transported around by the tractor again there, and cutting blades. A combine harvester cut the wheat and gather the grain. The grain is taken away in a trailer. The leftover wheat stems are turned into straw. And then it says, "Look out for mice, they like wheat too." Fruit farms. This is a different type of crop for fruit, which many of you will Well, like too, and it shows you here as well that the fruit's been grown on trees. In fact, the fruit would have been part of the flower before the seeds turned into these fruits. The seeds are actually inside the fruits. There are lots of orange farms in California and Florida, USA. They are called groves, and there's a picture there of an orange grove. Many types of fruit are soft, so they have to be picked carefully. So a machine waters the orange plants by spraying them, and when the oranges are ripe, they are often picked by hand. Wonder why they're picked by hand? Have a little think about that. I'm thinking because it said that they're soft and they need to be picked carefully. People check the oranges before they're sold. And down the bottom they've got some fruits here. Some fruits, such as oranges and pineapples, grow in hot places. Oranges. What if you can remember what this fruit is? Pineapple. Strawberries. What if you can remember this fruit? Raspberry and apple. Some fruits, such as berries and apples, grow in cool places. So, like where we live in a cool place, so that's why you can see berries and apples grown on trees near where we live sometimes. The fruit we buy in shops is actually grown on farms, big and small, in many different countries. And this is another way of knowing for sure that it's an information book. Often they have a glossary which explains what some of the words are. So you can press pause now and read more about some of the words that I might have said if you weren't sure what they were, or maybe an adult can help read them to you. So I wonder if you look at, I think you know most of the sounds in this one. If you could read the one that says pigsty. A pigsty is a shelter or a pen for pigs, or a pig. And that's the end.